Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ty, and the other day I asked the Dying Light community what they would like to see change in Dying Light the Beast, and we ended up getting a lot of suggestions. So today we're going to be talking about some of the most popular ones and a few that really stuck out to me personally that I feel can really help bring this game a step forward. It's in a good state currently, but there's a lot that can be done in new updates and events to make it even better. So let's waste no time and start off with the biggest suggestion with over 400 likes. It's the one that everyone wants, and that is New Game Plus and more endgame content. More endgame content could be something like replayable chimeras like Jiri anomalies from the second game, or something more in the vein of the prison heist from the first. There's a lot they can do here, and we already know events are coming if you've seen the leaks. But the game generally needs more for you to do after you roll the credits and finish up all the side quests. Bringing back legend levels though would be a good way to introduce new high-level rewards. And I have a really good idea for one, but we'll talk about that in the spoiler section when the time comes. You'll know when there's a warning. Another one of the most popular suggestions is for us to get a new Be the Zombie mode, and if done right, could keep this game thriving for years. I don't think they would just straight up bring back the Night Hunter, but I do hope they would make something mechanically very similar if that's what they do. Sure, there's a whole beast system already implemented that could be used for a PvP mode, but I know they visually could do so much more with it if they really committed to it. Another thing that was heavily suggested is for there to be more incentives to go out at night, and I have to agree. I usually sleep through the nights because I feel as if the rewards aren't worth the chases because yeah, volatiles are very tough this time around, maybe a little too tough. I generally do think they need to make the dark zones a little more worth exploring during the nights because from my experience they play very similar no matter what time of day you try to enter the map. To mix it up, they should sprinkle a few volatiles in them during the day or even add a few other special infected so you can't just walk through them so easily. I saw the suggestion to add night vision goggles to the night, and honestly, it could work, it really could. And it does fit the theme of something the Baron soldiers would use. In my mind, it could work like the camera from Outlast, where you need to collect batteries in stores to keep it activated. So you know, it's not like you can rely on it the whole night. Unless, well, you got a stockpile of batteries somewhere. There's a lot they can do with that idea though, so I would love to see it. On another note, quite a few people asked for a legendary marksman rifle to be added, and it makes sense. There's a legendary version of every gun but the marksman rifle, so why not? I understand it's not a big priority, but it would be nice to complete the collection, maybe give it a longer scope so it's closer to a sniper. So, kill two birds with one stone. In general, it'd just be nice to see more gun variety, and past trailers did show a few things that didn't make it into the retail version, like the semi-auto shotgun. However, it could have just been a placeholder for the ones that we ended up getting, or it's just something that could come post-launch. But I would like to see guns with silencers, and it's surprising for how often this game allows you to sneak your way through that a silenced pistol as an option doesn't exist already. A lot of people would like to see gun modifications come in a future update at some point, and to be honest, not even just things like scopes. I'm talking about elemental mods, similar to what Dead Island 2 did. Another thing that could bring this game a step forward is to add car upgrades, and it was easily one of the most requested. I'd be personally fine if they left the whole car part system from the first game in the past, but bring back the attachments like the flamethrower, the spikes to the front, or maybe even add new ones like a turret that's strapped to the back of the truck or a spotlight that lights up the whole area. I hope at some point we see them bring on something like a Mad Max collab so we can get crazy shit like this. A lot of people would love it. I do see why some claim the cars feel like an afterthought because when you really think about it, there isn't too much you can do. So, a post-launch update with maybe people getting a garage they could bring a truck to make it more theirs would be nice to see. One thing that wasn't mentioned a ton but isn't a bad idea is for the game to see an economy overhaul, mainly when it comes to crafting supplies. There are a few items that are a bit hard to come by to the point where it's becoming a straight up meme in the community. One feature that I feel should really be in the game is when you die during a mission, all the ammo and weapon durability you use doesn't stay depleted, and returns to whatever state it was in the last checkpoint. I'm honestly surprised that isn't a feature already. Now, there's a lot of crazy cool Easter eggs in this game, but I definitely feel like there could be more Easter egg weapons and things that completely flip the experience around. In the first game, we got straight up teleported into a Mario level. In the second game, we got Mario boots that let us flip around midair. And so here I feel like it'd be nice to have something like that too, that really sticks with you. It's nothing that's needed or should be a priority, just to be clear, but I would love to see more of it. Realistically speaking, I don't think they'll add Easter eggs post-launch, but they did add that Togun 15 side quest to the second game after it came out, so I don't know, we'll see. But that's the type of crazy stuff I would love to see more of. One thing not a lot of people talked about but could be really cool if done right, and probably really expensive to do, is to bring animals into the open world. We can already see bugs and birds flying around, but I mean things like deer, rabbits, maybe incorporate hunting as a challenge with it. You can't deny it really is the perfect setting for animals, and I do think would help add some more life to the open world. And speaking of open world, I do think there needs to be more random encounters, and generally more things like volatile hives to come across, which ties into the more needed night incentives as we mentioned earlier. Like, genuinely curious, can you even find volatile hives in the open world? Like, I've played a lot of this game, but I haven't seen a single one, so let us know down below if they even exist. When I played the game at the preview event, they would spawn around these types of little hub areas, but now they are nowhere to be seen. Another thing I would like to see more of are finishers. Whether it's in stealth or beast mode, they just need to add a little bit more variety in there. Seeing the same one finisher for every special infected does get old pretty quick, especially in boss fights like the Behemoth, where the big wow moment is something you can't see from a normal demolisher kill. It definitely takes away from the wow factor a bit, but Dying Light 2 got new finishers after it released, so it could be the same thing here too. I'm surprised this wasn't mentioned more often, but the special infected really only spawn in the same locations, to the point where it's pretty easy to memorize where they'll be at. So I hope we see them randomize it a little bit more in the future. Another thing asked quite a lot actually was for them to make the climbing a little faster, and to a certain extent I have to agree. It's understandable that from the beginning you're exhausted after being experimented on for 13 years, but at the same time, Kyle's slowness is definitely noticeable, and at a certain point makes the climbing segments a little monotonous. This one may be the most controversial feature we talk about today, but a lot of people want fast travel. And honestly, I can't understand why some people don't want it and some do. Frankly, I don't think it hurts the game as a whole to just have it as an option. Give the player the agency to use it if they want, that's my take. One thing I'm surprised we didn't see more of are shop vendors, and from what I've seen there are only 2 in the entire game, so that's kind of weird, right? There are a ton of places they can put more, one of them in a spot I can't talk about without getting into story spoilers, so if this is where you head out, then thank you all for joining in, and let's talk about how neat it would be to turn the Baron's Castle into a safe zone. It'd be a good way to introduce a new vendor that could bring on higher level gear. Looking back at it from these free camp perspectives, it's such a cool area that I feel like they can do so much more with, and let's hope they do at some point, give us a reason to come back. Now, I didn't mention this earlier because of spoilers, but a really good legend level reward could be a skin for Aiden. With how the game ended, it only makes sense to just let people run around as Aiden and Kyle. Although I do have to say, I wouldn't be surprised if the next Dying Light game has us playing as both. But with that said, those are some of the best suggestions from myself and the community. Even if they implement nothing of what we talked about today, I still think Dying Light the Beast is overall a good game, I really do. But it could always use that extra oomph to make it something genuinely amazing, and knowing how Techland is with post-launch content, I can see it getting to that point. So with that said, what else would you like to see? Let us know down below, and if you enjoyed, then do me the favor of liking this video, subscribe if you want, and stop by next time folks. Have a great day, cheers.